Welcome back, Ducks and Kings fans, to episode 9 of Royally Quacked, the podcast where we dive into everything related to the Anaheim Mighty Ducks and the Los Angeles Kings, Southern California's two NHL clubs. I'm your host, Cody Spink, and I'm thrilled to be joined by my fellow host,
Gary Spink. In today's episode, we'll recap the latest games. Well, the standings have been decided, and the playoff matchups for the Kings. We'll also keep you informed on league news, whether you bleed eggplant or jade for the Ducks, or rock silver and black for the Kings, or cheer for both. This is the podcast for you. So grab your favorite jersey, settle in, and here we go! Okay. Trivia question.
Okay.
You're on the hot seat. I've got the question. And it's a good question. I think a lot of our fans might be able to get it. So
Go for it.
most hat tricks in a career for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks and the Los Angeles Kings. I don't think it's too hard.
No. Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can get the Ducks one a lot easier than the Kings one.
I think so.
For the Ducks, I'm going to go with my idol, Teemu Selanne.
Correct.
Okay.
Teemu Selanne.
For Kings, that's a tough one. I mean,
a lot more history there.
Yeah, and a lot of it happened before I was even alive. So,
True.
my first guess, I want to say, I want to go with
about that. Is that fair?
Well, okay, so
or you want to guess first?
My guess, well, my first thought is, the great one, Gretzky, but I know he wasn't a king for long.
Not long enough.
Yeah. So, but that's the first thing I think of. Okay, what's your hint?
It was before you were born.
Oh, that helps. Did he have it since we had the trivia last week with the jersey retirement? Is he one of those players?
He was in that trivia question.
Okay. Marcel Dion.
Correct.
Oh,
Marcel Dion. I mean, he obviously was a king probably longer than maybe even Robitaille, because Robitaille played in Pittsburgh for a while.
Yeah.
And he was part of that Triple Crown Ryan that was scoring 100 points every season, it seemed like. So, good job, Cody.
Thank you.
So our next thing will be the Kings scores of the week. And on April 15th in Game 81, Kings could have clinched third place, I think, if they would have won this game, but they didn't show up again. I mean, we got one goal. And if I asked our fans if they didn't pay attention to the game, who scored the goal, you'd probably say Kempe or Fiala, Kopitar. Blake Lizotte got his 7th, assisted by Fiala, his 44th. And get this, Cam Talbot with his 3rd assist of the season.
Talbot got an assist? That's awesome.
He did. He faced 28 shots, had 25 saves, but we were 0 for 4 on the power play and 1 for 3 on the penalty kill. 44% in the face-off circle. Seemed very uninspired play to me. Very uninspired play. And you want to be at the top of the game going into the playoffs. And believe me, they've given me concern.
Yeah.
Then on Thursday, in Game 82, we play the Chicago Bedards. And I predicted a 6-2 victory on this one. I don't even want to talk about my prediction on the last game. We just didn't show up to play. But this is another game that was tough. I mean, I think we outshot them like 15-4, and we're down 1-0 after the first period. Then we got it together. Arvidsson scored his 5th, assisted by Deneau with his 28th and Morris 26th. Then Quentin Byfield, I think it was like 17 games without a goal, scored his 20th on the power play.
He was cold.
He was cold. Assisted by Deneau again, his 29th, and Jordan Spence with his 22nd. And I know this isn't right. Moore, that was his 31st. Somehow I put 6 in there. It was 31st, assisted by Arvidsson, his 9th, and Deneau again with his 30th.
Wow. A hat trick and assist for him.
Arvidsson had scored before Moore. And then I had to correct it, but I didn't correct the goal. Then Arvidsson did get his 6th on the power play, assisted by Byfield, his 35th, and that was interesting, and I'll talk about that later. Assisted by Byfield, his 35th assist, and Kempe, his 47th. Well, we were up 3-1 in the third period and gave up 3 straight goals. And then, obviously, the goal by Arvidsson and the assist by Byfield tied the game, and we went to overtime. And I don't even think we were maybe 25 seconds into overtime, and Kempe scored his 28th unassisted with the game winner. And I was so frustrated that the Bedards took us to overtime and we played uninspired. And I didn't have any of the Cam Talbot stats that I was even interested to post today on that. And we played poorly, and we're going into the playoffs. I had ideas this team could be like 2012 and come back and, get their game going. They haven't convinced me. So, but we'll get to my predictions for this week in the playoffs against our lovely McJesus and the Oilers in a little bit. But Cody, he's going to be smiling when he gives you the Ducks scores of the week.
Oh, I'm definitely smiling about this one, guys. So game number 82, the last one of the season for the Ducks. We were in Vegas, so we started the season in Vegas and we ended the season in Vegas. And I can tell you, I predicted a 4-3 win, and I don't think I've ever been happy to be wrong about a score. Instead of a 4-3 win, it was a 4-1 win. Attaboy, Ducks. Way to finish the season strong on this one. Frankie V started the scoring in the second period with a power play goal on a slap shot. It was just a nice little, they kept it in the zone on the power play. Fowler swiped it right over to him, and he one-timed it right in. That was his 35th of the season. Cam Fowler and Strome had the assist for that one. That was Fowler's 34th assist of the year and Strome's 29th assist of the year. And then, let's see, towards the end of the second period, Jack Eichel scored on their power play goal. That was his 31st of the year. And, of course, former Duck Shea Theodore had the primary assist on that one. And, old, I don't think he played that much. I can't remember how many times he played for the Ducks, but William Carlson, a former Duck as well, also had the assist. So, but then, man, this is what I love right here. To start the third period, all right, not even a minute in, Jackson Lacombe scores on a one-timer, an assist from Cutter Gauthier. Attaboy. Got his first point in his NHL debut. I'm happy about that. And so Jackson Lacombe got his second goal of the year, and that was Cutter's first NHL point. And Leo Carlson had the secondary assist, and that was his 17th of the year. But it doesn't stop there, guys. About 30 seconds later, Frankie V scores his second of the game with assist from Ryan Strome and Trevor Zegras. That was Strome's 30th assist of the year and Zegras' 9th. And that was Frankie V's 36th goal of the year to make it 3-1. But the scoring doesn't stop there, guys. Nope. Frankie V to get his not one, not two, but his third hat trick of the season with his 37th goal of the year on a, I believe it was a shorthanded empty netter too. And then Lacombe got the assist on that, and that was his 15th assist of the year. So we had multi-point games from Strome, Frankie, and Lacombe. And like I said, other than the first period, it was just a great all-around game played by the Ducks. The first period, we only had 4 shots on goal. Vegas was just dominating the first period, but after that, I think the Ducks were the better team right after that. The Ducks did get outshot 33-23 in the game. At least we were in the 20s this time with the shots. Face-offs we still need to work on. Obviously, we only had 37.8% on the face-offs, but we were 1 for 1 on the power play. And I hate to say this, but we got Cutter Gauthier. He was getting power play minutes. He was going to be with Zegras, Terry, Carlson, and Zellweger. Talk about a great power play line, and we don't even get to see them. No, they start the veteran line. Like I said, I'm happy that they scored, but I mean, why do they always start with the veteran line? I don't understand this. Like I said, I'm happy we scored, but like, what's the point of having him practice if we're not going to see him in the power play unit? Now we got to wait till September, October to see him in a power play unit. But it is what it is. But we got the W. So all you Kings fans who didn't want to play Dallas, you're welcome. And all you Vegas fans that didn't want to play Dallas, not sorry. But
well, us King fans were thankful because of any team that has our number, it's Dallas. I mean, we were awful against them this year, and we weren't totally awful against the Oilers. I mean, we had a game we dominated them 4-0. I mean, that was our only win. We lost 3, but I think 1 was an overtime or a shootout. So,
well, I got one other thing to say about this the last game. Ducks fans, ever since Vegas came into the league, we've never won the season series. Ever. And guess what we did for the first time in 2023-2024? We beat the Vegas Knights in a season series. We won 3 games out of 4. After they won the season opener in Vegas, we won the last 3. We ruined their I think we gave them their first regulation loss earlier this year, and we beat them in the season series. So I'm happy about that.
Yay! Way to go! We're happy for it too, because it got us a more favorable first round playoff.
I agree. I don't think anyone wants to play Dallas right now.
So we're on to predictions, right?
Yep.
Well, we only got one team in the playoffs. Go Kings, go!
Yeah. We'll see you guys next year, maybe.
You never know. We'll see what happens.
You never know.
After all this. Anyways, so Monday on April 22nd, the Kings invade Rogers Arena in Edmonton. And guys, some of this is me, giving the Oilers their due. Some of this is my outside hope that we're going to pick it up after the last 2 games we played. But in the first game, I think the Oilers are going to come out and they're going to take us 5-3. That's my honest opinion of that game. Then Wednesday again in Edmonton on the 24th, we're going to come back and we're going to squeak one by them. I didn't put overtime or shootout, but I think it might be an overtime or shootout game, and we're going to take them 4-3. We're going to take them 4-3 in that second game. So we'll tie up the series 1-1. And we got 4 games against them this week. That's a lot of games to play one team in 1 week. Friday is game 1 at Staples Center. I know you guys all want to say crypto.com, but I'm old time. I'm still Staples Center. But I think the Kings are going to come out again. Or not the Kings, but the Oilers are going to come out again and beat us by the same score as game 1, 5-3. Then on Sunday, this is where I'm hoping the tide turns for us. I think we're going to beat Edmonton 5-4. I think both teams can score. We're going to tie it up heading back into Edmonton next week. So I have the Kings and the Oilers splitting 4 games. What do you think, Cody? Do you have any ideas of what you want to say about the Kings?
Ooh. Should I do my own predictions for the Kings too?
Why not?
All right. Game 1, I'm going to say 3-2 Oilers. Game 2, I'm going to keep yours. 4-3 Kings. I think that's a good score. I like that. Game 3 back at Staples. I think the Kings are going to take that one. 6-4.
Ooh. Scoring
Kings.
game, huh?
But then, yeah. And then on game 4, I think it's going to be the same score but flipped. Oilers are going to win 6-4.
So you have them splitting too.
I have them splitting too.
Okay, interesting.
So
be interesting to see who's right.
Yeah, I'll write mine down later. Yeah. I can always read.
If you're right,
listen
I'll
to it and
you.
Write it down. Oh no! All right, guys, and since there are no more Ducks games, we're gonna go to a quick ad break, and then we'll be right back. Hey Ducks and Kings fans, step into the spotlight and make your prom night unforgettable with our exclusive prom night photoshoot package. For just $150, immerse yourself in the beauty of the great outdoors as our professional photographer captures your radiant glow against nature's backdrop. Prefer an indoor setting? No worries. At $300, experience a studio session where every click of the camera amplifies your elegance and style. Each 45-minute session guarantees you 10 high-quality images, a timeless memento of a night filled with laughter, dance, and unforgettable memories. But wait, there's more. We also specialize in senior photos, graduation photos, and quinceañeras. Because every milestone is a story waiting to be told. So why wait? Book now and let us narrate your journey through our lenses. Contact us at 951-719-6377 or at Christina122193 at gmail.com, or go follow us on Instagram at Xtina's Photo on Instagram. That's XTINAS Photo for a glimpse into how we turn every shot into a masterpiece. All right, guys, and now we're back, and we're going to go over all the Ducks news, Kings news, and league news for the week. We're going to start off with the Ducks news. I'm going to keep it nice and short because there really wasn't much to go off of since it's the end of the year. But Killorn is going to try to persuade Steven Stamkos to the Ducks this offseason if the Lightning don't re-sign him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be a great addition.
Yes and no. I feel like he would be a great asset to this team. Veteran presence. He's captained 2 Stanley Cup wins. I think he's taken them to 4 total. I believe he was the captain when they went in 2015. I can't remember. But my only issue is how the term and the value. If we can get him like on a 2 years, 6 or 7 million, I would say yes, let's do it. I can handle that. But if he wants like 4 years at 9 million, then I'm like, no, I'd rather pay our younger guys and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm. We'll see how everything goes. We still got time to talk about stuff like that. But next bit of news is the Ducks finished 7th in the Pacific Division. The Sharks were dead last in the whole league. So, yeah. So Ducks finished 7th in the Pacific and 30th overall. And now the Ducks have the 3rd best odds for the first overall pick at 11.5%. So just remember, guys, last year, Chicago had the 3rd worst odds for the number 1 pick. And guess what happened? They got the number 1 pick. I'm not saying it's going to happen for us, but you never know. And then Cam Fowler is the Ducks nomination for the King Clancy Memorial Trophy for the Ducks. So that's all the Ducks news I have for the week. Hopefully we'll have more news next week. So on to Kings news.
Yeah, well, I've got plenty of that. I told you during the Blackhawks game, I had other news about Byfield. That goal and that assist in one game earns him a $450,000 bonus.
Must be nice.
How would you like to get paid $450,000 for one game? That's pretty good.
I'd like that for just a year.
Now, Kevin Fiala was also nominated for the King Clancy Memorial Trophy. And that, just so you know, that is a sports award given annually to the National League Hockey League player who best exemplifies leadership qualities and on and off the ice, and who has made a significant humanitarian contribution to his community. So, really good guys. So, every team gets one. I don't know who's going to win it, but those are, Cody gave you the Ducks. This is the Kings. It's Kevin Fiala. Brant Clark named to the AHL All-Rookie team. I thought that was a given. The Kings also called up Carl Grundstrom from the Ontario Reign, and Aaron Dale was also recalled from the Reign. I don't think he's going to play. I'm not even sure why they did that. But when you go to the playoffs, you don't have to worry about cap. So that's how the Golden Knights get away with Stone coming back with that huge contract in the first game of the playoffs 2 years in a row. So now the Kings Awards, as voted by the media. MVP. Adrian Kempe was voted MVP. I think he could have voted for Drew Doughty. You could have voted for Anze Kopitar. And until he had that poor scoring streak, even I thought Quentin Byfield could have been in there. So the best newcomer, I think they picked the right guy. Cam Talbot was pretty much incredible. After the last few years he's played in the NHL, he came back, other than, the December's bad stretch just before All-Stars. But he came back with a vengeance and played well for us. Thought he did a great job. Outstanding defenseman, I don't think there was anybody else you could have picked but Drew Doughty in that one. Yeah. Best defensive player, Anze Kopitar. I guess you could have gone Drew Doughty there also, but I think they did right by that. Now, The next ones are voted by the players. Most inspirational, Victor Arvidsson. From my understanding, He never stops talking during the game. He's always trying to encourage people. I think he was missed throughout most of the season. Who knows where we would have been if we had him all season? I think he would have made a huge difference. And unsung hero. Blake Lizotte, he won it. And I think he's won it the last couple of years. But he had competition because Trevor Lewis, I think, won it like 8 or 9 years in a row.
Really?
Kings before? Yes.
Wow.
And believe it or not, there's a Booster Club award for most popular player. And I don't know who yours was, but theirs was Kevin Fiala. And he also won the Jim Fox Community Service Award. And then there was one more, and that was the Darrell Evans Youth Hockey Service Award, went to Philip Deneau. So that's a bit of Kings news, guys. I know probably more than you expected me to say. Bet you didn't know all that stuff. But you heard it here first on Royally Quacked. On to league news.
Well, the only thing there's two names I'm surprised I didn't hear in all those awards. No Byfield and no Trevor Moore.
You could have picked him.
I mean, who would have I'm sorry, but before the season, could you have predicted Trevor Moore scoring over 30 goals this year?
No.
Yeah. I'm surprised he's not one of those. Like, best newcomer I can see, Talbot, because he was like probably one of the best goalies for a while to start the year. And Adrian Kempe, I understand, because normally he's known as a goal scorer, and he had 47 assists this year.
Well, he led the team, I believe.
Yeah.
Assists.
So
even over Fiala.
I was just surprised not to see Quentin Byfield or Trevor Moore in any of these.
Well, they didn't have. I mean, I think Byfield could have won one if he didn't have that 17 game, like no goals.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if he had scored 6 or 7 more goals. He would have been, right there with Kopi on goals for the year.
Yeah.
So would have been like second or third, fourth on the team.
Yeah.
Big future for him, buddy. I tell you right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's only 21. He's only going to get better.
He's going to be scary to be playing against in the next few years.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of young guys that are going to get scary.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to league news. All right, to start off the league news, Connor McDavid and Nikita Kucherov both hit 100 assists in one season. It's the first time this has happened since 1990 and 1991. And there's only been a total of 5 players to ever do this.
100 assists?
100 assists in one season.
Wayne Gretzky probably did it multiple times.
Yes.
Mario Lemieux?
I think it was Lemieux. I can't remember at the top of my head. The other one is an older player too.
Older. Oh,
I mean, older than Lemieux and Gretzky.
Wow. Wasn't Bobby Orr, was it?
Bobby Orr. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Talk about the guy that revolutioned playing defense in hockey. Bobby Orr. He was incredible.
Yeah.
Probably him and Gretzky are the 2 greatest ever. I would say that. 2 greatest ever.
Yeah. So then the next bit of news is, this is the one I'm actually kind of shocked about, is Don Granato was fired as the Sabres head coach. I thought they were going to give him another year at least, but yeah, they decided to let him go, and they said that I guess they're looking for more of a veteran coach to come up. It's not someone that's going to be like their first job. as a head coach in the NHL. I think they're going to look for more like maybe like a Jay Woodcroft or Joe Quenneville, I guess, if he's allowed to come back. Well, they talked about on the Jeff Merrick show. There was two other names.
Not Todd
Greg.
McClellan, right?
No, he wasn't brought up. Was it?
Maybe
Because
he's done.
I think they wanted someone that was more like a John Tortorella type, and they were saying like maybe do a trade to get Tortorella.
Wouldn't be the first time they traded for a coach, a team.
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah. I think was it Greg Berube was one of the other names. There was another name, I just can't think of it right now. But because honestly, in my preseason prediction, I expected the Sabres to be like a wild card team, to be honest. So, and I thought Don Granado was doing a good job. I know this year I think they had some injury issues, but we'll see what happens in the offseason. We'll keep you guys updated on all the coaching carousels, pretty much, because we had a lot of coaches getting fired this season, so I could see a lot of new head coaches coming in this year. Next bit of news: Marc-Andre Fleury, the Flower, he resigned in Minnesota for 1 year at $2.5 million, and he said that this will be his last season.
Wow.
The number one pick in 2003. So
he's had a great career.
He's had a great career.
Yeah.
A lot
of respect for him.
As much as I hated the Golden Knights, I can never really go against Fleury.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to at least know, this will be his last years instead of everyone guessing if this last year was his last season or not.
Well, he did win the Stanley Cup in our fantasy league. Because he was on my team.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh.
We picked him up 2 or 3 weeks ago. And to all you Royally Quacked, the old man won the league.
All right, we'll edit that part out. I'll let you talk about the next news.
Okay. 2-time Stanley Cup winner Jeff Carter has retired. Excuse me, a little tickle in my throat, people. He's 39 years old. He was a 11th overall pick of the Flyers back in 2003. Another guy from 2003.
That was a stacked draft.
Yeah. He recorded 851 points in 1,321 games over 19 seasons. In the NHL, he played for Philly, Columbus Blue Jackets, the Kings, and the Penguins. Jeff Carter, hats off to you for a great career. I don't think we win 2 Stanley Cups without you. That was a team that I think every guy was important to win, and he was definitely one of them. Congratulations, Jeff. Enjoy your retirement.
Yeah, it's definitely well-deserved. And I think they were talking about on the Jeff Merrick show or 32 Thoughts, one of the two. I always get them mixed up. But they were saying, I think it was the 2012 the team when the Kings first won their Stanley Cup. They were saying like the Kings had great underlying numbers, like offensively and defensively, and like they had good numbers, but they just had no one to put the puck into the net. And that's what Jeff Carter did, pretty much. Yep. And I can tell you, as a Ducks fan, I hated it because he was one of those guys that almost, I think every time he played the Ducks, he scored.
Yeah, like Marian Gaborik.
Oh God, that name too.
Yeah, he scored. We were umpiring, and the Ducks were winning. And he looked at he was on the plate. I was on the base, and I could see him look at it, and I saw the look on his face, and I go, "Oh, we must have tied the game or won," because all of a sudden he did not have a happy face on his face. And Gaborik was a killer to the Ducks that night.
He really was.
Yeah.
So congrats to Jeff Carter. I mean, we've had a lot of like players that from you had someone that played on your team for a while, and then we had Silverberg retire
Yep.
for the Ducks. And the next big news is also someone else retiring, and Pavel Francouz is going to retire from the NHL as well. He was the Colorado Avalanche backup goalie, and he was a big part of the Colorado winning their Stanley Cup, because I know I want to say he played one series almost like completely, because I believe Kemper was injured or sick or something. So
yeah, he's had a lot of injuries himself. I think that's probably why he retired.
yeah, he's had a lot of injuries on and off and everything. So and I can understand. It can get all these injuries can be very taxing on a player. So hats off to Francouz. At least he's going out as a well. At least he's won a Stanley Cup. So congrats to Pavel on that. And then the next big news is the Montreal Canadiens extend Martin St. Louis for 2 more years. So he still has another year on his contract. So he'll be the Canadiens coach for the next 3 seasons. I think I think everyone's been shocked at how well he's done.
He's done great.
He has done really great.
I think that they did a great job extending him.
Yeah, I agree.
As a hockey fan, he's made Montreal better.
He really has, and a lot of players just love him as a coach too. So, and then so we already got 3 awards taken out, but it's nothing no one could really vote on, or it's more like predictions more than picking. But Austin Matthews wins the Rocket Richard Trophy with 69 goals. Nice.
Yeah, that's a given.
69. I like that.
Yeah,
I mean, it sucks that he couldn't get to 70.
He had opportunity.
Well, I think they were saying, like, was it the Lightning game? He had like 9 scoring chances and just none of them went in. He had like 14 shots, and I think 11 on goal, I want to say.
Wow.
So it wasn't for a lack of trying. It just wasn't going in. But Elliot Friedman said on the 32 Thoughts, I don't think that should be a reason why you take his vote out of being a Hart candidate for just having one less goal.
Yeah.
For anyone to get to 69 goals, that's a lot. So then also the next award is Nikita Kucherov wins the Art Ross Trophy with 144 points. And if you guys didn't know, the Rocket Richard Trophy is awarded to the player that has the most goals in the season. And then the Art Ross Trophy is someone that has the most points overall. So Nikita Kucherov had 144 points. He had 44 goals and 100 assists. God, he still had 44 goals. That's still crazy to me. So, and then last one is I don't think anyone's shocked about is Connor Hellenbuck wins the William M. Jennings Trophy. And at the top of my head, I can't remember. I want to say it's the best goals against average, or no, least goals. Was it the least goals scored upon, given up?
Got me.
I can't remember at the top of my head. But anyways,
another champion on my team.
Yeah, he was
my number 1 goalie. Number one. So, all right, guys, that is the last of the league news, and now we're gonna go into our playoff predictions. We're gonna do playoff predictions. I'm gonna do mine from the Royally Quacked bracket challenge. So if you guys want to join that, I'll send you the link, and I'll DM me, and I'll send you the link and the password to get in. So you want to do West Coast or East Coast first? I don't care.
All right, we'll start with the East Coast. All right. Florida and Tampa Bay
Well, let's be clear. We're picking who's going to win the first round.
for right
Picking
now.
the team who wins the
Yeah.
first round, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Florida,
Florida and
Tampa
Tampa
Bay.
Bay.
I picked Florida.
I picked Tampa Bay. It's hard to go against Vasilevskiy in the playoffs.
I don't know.
So
Florida's tough. They made it all the way to the Stanley Cup last year. I still believe in them.
no, I have that game. I have that series going 7 games. So
I think I had it going 6.
okay. Boston and Toronto.
You go first this time.
I have Boston in 7.
I have Boston in 6.
Yeah, the only reason I picked Boston over Toronto is just because these two teams are literally like the complete opposite of each other. Toronto has that like great forward offensive power, and Boston really like they have Marchand and Pasternak, but that's really about it after that. But Boston has way better defense and way better goaltending.
Defense wins championships.
That's why I picked Boston.
Yeah, me too.
So, New York Rangers and the Washington Capitals.
I picked the Rangers in 5.
I did too. I think that was a pretty self-explanatory one. Carolina and the Islanders.
Picked Carolina in 6.
Really? Okay. I picked Carolina in 5. Now, do you want to finish the East or do you want to move on to the first round of the West?
Well, we're going to do everything, right? Why don't we just get
Everything.
whoever's going to go in the East to the Stanley Cup,
And then we'll go to
and
the West.
then we'll do the West.
Okay. So you have Florida and Boston in
Yep.
round 2.
Yep.
Who do you have going?
Boston.
So I have Tampa and Boston, and I have Tampa winning that one too. Yeah, I know.
Ooh,
Okay,
you got cojones.
I do got cojones. All right, and that one. Oh, I didn't have to pick, but how many games do you think that one's going?
7.
I'm gonna say 6 for mine.
Well, yeah, but you have a different team in there too.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying I have Tampa winning in 6 games over Boston, and you said Florida winning?
No, Boston. 7 games.
Yeah, Boston winning in 7. Okay. So if I was
Again,
yours,
I
I
think
would have picked Florida.
overall defense, Boston's tough. Florida's really good too.
Yeah.
But that was a toss up. I had a hard time. That was my hardest one to pick, I think, for me. Was that one.
All right. Carolina and Hurricanes and Rangers. Who do you have?
I got the Rangers in 7.
Ooh, I got Carolina in 7.
Yeah, well, I can see that.
Yeah.
Because I think, in my estimation, either one of those teams, they'll beat whoever's on the other side.
I feel like whoever wins that Rangers Carolina series,
Yeah, they're going to go to the
that's
Stanley Cup.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly
I
what I was
agree.
thinking.
It's just I've been barking New York Rangers for a lot on the podcast, and I'm going to stick with them.
I have nothing against the Rangers. I just feel like Carolina's deeper and like like better all around
and quick.
Yeah. So
Carolina doesn't have as good goalkeeping. They have really good defensive players, but their goalkeeping is not as good. That's why I picked the Rangers.
But the only thing about the Hurricanes is they play a better defensive sound game.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. So
I agree with you on that.
So you have Boston and Carolina, right?
No, I have the Rangers.
Oh, sorry. You have Boston and Rangers. Who do you have winning that one?
Rangers in 7.
Ooh. I got Carolina. So I have Tampa and Carolina. And I'm going to go with Carolina in 6. Yep. All right. So I have Carolina.
Really differ on that. That's incredible. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to the West.
I have Carolina in the final, and you have the Rangers in the
Rangers.
final for the East.
Yep.
All right, for the West, Dallas and Vegas.
Dallas.
I
6.
got Dallas in 7, and I feel like
I know
this is gonna be
Vegas
this.
is getting everybody back, but Dallas is. They just seem to. They're like a machine.
Yeah,
I
no,
think it
I
might be their
agree.
year.
Oh my! I
Well,
forgot to talk about this. Did you? And I sent you the video. Did you see that Ottinger save?
yes,
Oh,
that was incredible. I'm
I
not even
love.
sure how we even saw that.
I and it was so nonchalant too. He
It
was just like,
was
oh,
wide
it
open
was like,
net,
oh, he's like, oh, I got beat. I'm just gonna stick my goalie stick out and hope for the best.
and then
And I
and
just,
it worked.
it worked. And who was it against? It was Robert Thomas on the Blues, and you could see Thomas like, what? How did that? And then I love when Ottinger looked up at the jumbotron and saw the replay. He's like, oh crap, I got that. So, all right, this is I think going to be the toughest round 1. Winnipeg and Colorado. I got Colorado in 6.
Winnipeg 7.
I, this one I was really tough on. I just think Colorado has more of the playoff experience, and I feel like that's going to help them. And I don't think McKinnon's going to let them
Winnipeg has
go
the
out.
Vezina Trophy winner. You heard it first on Royally
Well,
Quacked.
yeah.
Um,
Well, we're going to do
Connor
awards
Hellebuyck is
predictions
gonna win
later.
the Vezina Trophy, and he's going to be hot and take out Colorado. I got Winnipeg winning that. You're going to be. I'm going to give you some surprises like you gave me on the other side.
Yeah. All right. I don't know why. I don't know why. I forgot. I meant to switch it, but all right. Vancouver and Nashville.
I picked Nashville. I picked Nashville in 7.
Actually, I'm switching mine right now. I'm gonna do. I have Nashville in 6. I just feel like they're hotter team, and everything, and I think Yossi and Ryan O'Reilly and Phil Forsberg and I think Saros is just all those players is just and are just going to carry Nashville to the next round.
Yeah, well, the one thing we have to realize is that Vancouver's been playing without Demko.
Yeah,
and if he comes back as hot as he was,
yeah, that's.
But see, he hasn't been playing, so
yeah.
I'm gonna go with who's hot. And you know what? I like the underdog. I mean, I do. So I got Nashville winning that in 7.
Yeah, and then Oilers and Kings.
You
Who
first.
do you got? I got Oilers in 6.
Yeah, I have Oilers in 6. Just to be honest.
Yeah. But you still never know.
I want to be surprised like I was in 2012. Only it's going to be later this season than it was in 2012 because we pretty much dominated everybody in the playoffs in 2012.
Oh, geez, yeah, you ran through everyone like nothing. All right, Nashville and Edmonton.
I got Edmonton.
I got Edmonton. I got them in. I'm gonna go 7.
6.
I can see that. And then you got Dallas and Winnipeg, and I got Dallas and Colorado. So who are you going with?
Winnipeg.
Really?
Yep.
Ooh.
I don't know why. You know, the thing, obviously they won the trade, at least for this season. They've won that trade. It's made them, I mean, Velarde
deeper.
When they have Velarde, that offense is as good as anybody's. And I have Winnipeg winning that in 7. I do. I'm going with my gut on that one. Everything I picked was with what my gut told me. Is my gut always right? No, but dang, sometimes it's really good. So I got Winnipeg.
Okay, and I got Dallas over.
Winnipeg and Edmonton.
Well, I got
No,
Dallas
you got
over
Dallas.
Colorado. In
Oh
6.
yeah. Who you have Dallas over Colorado in 6?
I have Dallas over Colorado in 6, and then for the Western Conference Final, I got Dallas over Edmonton in 6 as well.
I got Winnipeg over Edmonton in 7.
So you got Winnipeg and Rangers, and I got Dallas and Carolina.
One of us is gonna. Well, maybe neither one of us is. Who knows?
Mm.
But at least we're different.
Yeah.
One
And
of us will have at least some kind of.
you
Hopefully,
have the Rangers winning it?
I have the Rangers winning it.
I
You
have
have
Dallas.
Carolina.
No, I have Dallas winning.
Dallas. You know,
Winning it everything.
got to tell you, if I had to go by the way they played the Kings, they should win the Stanley Cup because they have been so dominant. It's funny. It reminded me of how the Kings played in the playoffs in 2012. Whenever they play the Kings, they just make us look like we're second class.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, guys, please go join our bracket challenge. I'll just tell you the password right now. It's going to be all one word. It's Royally Quacked 2024, and it's going to be a capital R and a capital Q. So, guys, please put in your picks. Let us know what you think. Who's going to win the Stanley Cup this year, or who do you think? So, go ahead and join the challenge, guys. It's free, and we're just going to have fun with it this year. So, all right, and now we're going to go on to questions. All right, Dad. James provided you King's question. He wants to know, being between an average scoring team and an average defensive team, what should the Kings prioritize, defense or offense, given that you guys let the amount of goals as saves? I would say more goals against than goals for.
well, one is we were a plus 41. We were better than Nashville. I mean, we weren't better than Edmonton or Colorado, Vancouver, Winnipeg. I mean, but the number one in the West was 64 more than they gave up. We did 41, and we're not average defensively. We're above average defensively.
I would say above average for defensively.
But as far as average scoring team, we started off with being a top scoring team, and then we had the fall. And now I'd still say we're a little below average scoring. I would think so. I mean, look at it. We had 256 goals. Even Minnesota was only 5 goals below us. Arizona scored as many goals as we did. And they were, 36, 41, and 5, 77 points.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I mean, you guys had a plus 40 average, and the Capitals had a minus 37 going into the playoffs.
Yes. That's the funny thing is, sometimes that's not even an accurate stat. I mean, you think it would be, because there's a lot of people that think the face-offs don't matter.
And I think they matter.
Believer, I mean, if you can win a face-off, like when you ice it and you can win that face-off and get that puck and get it out of your zone instead of having them shoot on you, or, you have that face-off where your goalie made a great save on the power play, and now you need to win that face-off to get the puck out of the net or out of the zone, so the other team doesn't score. And the same thing when you're on the power play in the other one, you want to win so you can score.
Yep.
But a lot of people think it's not that big a deal. Well, the Kings were a plus 41. I wish it was a little bit higher, but I thought they were a good defensive team. but a below average scoring team. Even though I thought their scoring was more balanced than in years past. I mean, because we've had Kempe with 41 goals. Our top goal scorer only had 31 this year, but we had a lot of guys in the 20s. So what would we do in the off season to make ourselves better? That is a huge question, and it's going to depend upon who our GM is, if it's still Rob Blake, because there's been question that he may get fired. Now, I don't know if that's going to be true or not, and I'm not going to say I'm going to advocate for that yet. I think he's made attempts to make us better, but when you have unrestricted free agents, anybody can offer them a contract, and unfortunately, with our cap status the way it is, even with the money we're going to be getting more money. I think it was what, $4 or $5 million more next year, right, Cody? On the
I think
cap, and
it's going up to like 87.7, I believe.
And then
like
Kopi's going to be $3 million less, but you're going to have to pay Byfield. Does Arvidsson deserve a raise? He does, but I think if he gets a raise and Matt Roy gets a raise, we can't really hopefully draft some superstar that's going to come in and knock our socks off right out of the draft. And I don't think we have that high of a draft pick. So we're going to have to get lucky with some really good scouting on that aspect. Then again, we could lose those players. I think Brant Clark's going to come up and he's going to make a difference. There's one way for us to score more goals. I mean, you got Doughty, who had an excellent season this year scoring, but who else? I mean, don't get me wrong. You need the Mikey Andersons. I mean, and what Matt Roy does is great, but he led the team in defensive goals, defenseman goals last year, and I think he only had like 4. This year he had like 9 or 10 last year. We need some more scoring from that end and consistency in play. Now, I don't know what that's going to mean. Is Hiller going to be the interim coach? There's another thing that we just don't know. You're going to have somebody come in and maybe a whole new philosophy, because the Kings have this philosophy. If you haven't watched any of the, they had specials about the Kings. Did you ever watch those, Cody? I told you about them.
No.
Yeah, they were like before the season started. Kings 360, I think it was called. And I was listening to, this is when McClellan was coaching, and all the little details, little points, watching film on what guys could have done differently to make the outcome come better. And, that's all split second decisions, and something that has to, you got to hope these guys follow what you want. So I think getting Clark up, I think Turcotte might be coming up, maybe even Akil Thomas. We may go with a younger team. I'm not sure. Like I said, it's all going to depend on what management decides about Blake, Hiller. I'm a Kings fan, and I see what the Ducks are doing with their youth movement, and I kind of like it. I kind of like let the kids play, let them grow and learn how to play. I mean, that's what a lot of these teams who have, look at the Patriots. They always found somebody in the draft or a free agent that made a difference and they won a Super Bowl. Yeah. That's what we need. We need someone to make those decisions, to give us the right players in the right place. And it doesn't mean it's, we don't have to have Connor McDavid. We don't have to have Nikita Kucherov or even Austin Matthews. Dean Lombardi picked up Jeff Carter. He picked up
Gabrick.
Marion Gabrick. Mike Richards.
Oh, yeah.
Who ended up cost us on the cap for like 10 years now. I think he's finally going to be coming off here soon. I mean, his fall was mighty, from being, a Stanley Cup winner to not playing hockey anymore. Unfortunately for him, it does happen. You just, all of a sudden, your abilities are less, and any of you old guys like me, you understand you can't do exactly all the things physically you could do before. So, but anyways, James, I hope that's a good enough answer because I'm hoping that whoever makes the decisions makes the right ones. I mean, like I said, I think bringing up the kids is going to be Turcotte, if he can stay healthy, can be that two-way player that isn't a superstar but is always helping your team win.
Yep.
So I hope that answered that question. There was another one, right?
Yeah. So Ethan sent in, with no goalies signed to the roster past this season, should the Kings bring back or look for someone a little younger or in the draft? And then he also said same question except for right wing, because he says there's no right wing signed beyond 2024. But I believe Kempe is the only one, I think, really, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess. I'm trying to think.
I'll pull up Cap Friendly while you're talking.
So as far as goalies go, that's going to be another great question. I do believe Calvert signed it was a 1+1. So I'm assuming he's going to be back. And they do have goalies signed, but they're not on the NHL roster. I think Eric Portillo is going to be their future. I mean, they were either going to come in second or third in the Pacific in the AHL, the Ontario Reign, and their season went a little longer than the NHL's. And I think they played today, but I didn't hear what the score was. I think maybe not next year, but the following year, Patillo's he's gonna be NHL ready. I hope by then. And I do believe Talbot's earned that second year. He played more games. He's earned the bonus to come back. I don't know if they'll buy him out or not. That's a great question. There has to be somebody NHL worthy. If they don't, pardon me. If they don't, I lost my train of thought there. Well, anyways, I do believe Talbot is. I think he earned his second year. It was like a 1+1. When we have Portillo down in the AHL, Aaron Dell, I'm not sure if he's signed or not for next year. I don't think he's an answer for the Kings. Maybe Talbot. They might bring Talbot and Riddick back, but with Roy and Arvidsson, if they both deserve raises, I just can't imagine them not going and getting money. I mean, isn't that we all want to be as rich as we possibly can when we retire? They have to give us a hometown discount. If they give us a hometown discount, we could keep them both. But I think if I was going to keep one, I'd keep Arvidsson, because I think Clark's going to come up and take Roy's spot anyways. You let Roy go, we might be able to get a goalie. It just depends what's available. I don't know who the free agents are. Do you know who the free agents are coming up, Cody, this next season? Yeah, we'll talk about that maybe in the off season when we know who all the free agents are going to be. But I can say Talbot, Riddick might both come back. I thought they played well, and it was supposed to be our weakness. And we did have that December swoon, where neither goalie played that well, but they both, for most of the season, played way above the money we paid them. I mean, Talbot was in top 5 most of the season, and I still think he's in the top 10. So, I mean, there's 32 teams. There's 22 other goalies that weren't as good as he was. That's off the top of my head. But and you said about right wings.
Yeah.
Turcotte could be a right wing. Gil Thomas could be a right wing. Hey, who knows? Maybe there's a free agent that wants to play with the Kings. We could pick up somebody. We also have draft, and sometimes you look at LaFerriere. He's a right wing. So we do have him. I think he's signed. I mean, he's still in his entry level contract with us, right? So we got 2 more years of Alex Laferriere. So he's a right wing.
I don't even see him on. Oh, here he is. Yeah, he still has another year on ELC. Trevor Lewis will be a free agent. Arvidsson will be a free agent. But now you got Lazant, Grunstrom, Byfield, and Kaliev. All are going to be RFAs.
Well, those are going to be some tough decisions. Well, I can tell you.
Yeah. And then that's just for forwards.
For sure.
Yeah. And then for defense, you have Matt Roy as a UFA, and then Jordan Spence as an RFA.
I'd re-sign Spence.
That's for defense
right now over Roy, because one, he's at a lot less money.
Yeah,
he's only got 1 year experience. I think Roy's going to go get a great contract from somebody else. Anyways, he deserves it. And you know what? I mean, it's your living.
Yeah.
But what you don't know, maybe they love the beach. They love to be in the weather of California, and they'll give us a discount. All that'll be what the deciding factor is where they go. And it's just not what the Kings want. It's what each of these players will want. And that's the hardest thing to predict. So, but we do have people in the pipeline. We do. I mean, there's people in the pipeline that are decent. I think Turcotte played really well for the Kings. He had a hat trick Friday, I think, for the Reign. I think he's going to be up with the Kings this next year. So those RFAs, some of them might be let go.
All right.
Well, I hope that answers your question on the right wings. And now Dan has a question for us. I guess this is to both of us.
Yes.
With all other sports going to a more offensive-minded game, what do you feel both teams need more with such a low salary cap, like against the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball? Kings have a lot of free agents coming up, and the Ducks are in a rebuild. Should they gear up on defense or focus on scoring?
You want me to go first?
I've been doing a lot of talking. Why don't you take this one? Or at least the first part of that. The Ducks.
Yeah. So with the low salary cap and everything, yeah, we do have the lowest salary cap, but I think that was partially more because of what happened during COVID. It's been everything now that like the escrow thing is all paid off and everything. Now the salary cap's going to build up every year. It should be going up every year now. So hopefully, eventually, we start having higher salary caps. Probably not as much as everyone else, but we should start having higher ones. But with the Ducks in a rebuild, and should we gear up on defense or focus on scoring? I don't think we really need to focus on defense because we still have all those defensive prospects and everything. Like we got Leno, we got Warren, we got Tyson Hines, we got Zellweger, we got Mintikov, Lacombe. That's 6 players right now, and if the Ducks pick where they're supposed to pick, I believe they're going to look for a right-handed shot defenseman. But I think because this draft is more, I think in the early on in the draft is more defensive heavy, and I think that's what we're short on is right-handed shot defenseman. So I believe that's where they might go for maybe the draft. Depends on where if we get number 1 overall, we're obviously getting Celebrini. But if we're, I think 2 or 3, I think they're going to go for a right-handed shot defenseman. But what I think the Ducks should do is focus more on offensive and goal scoring. Build up the top 6 and have better bottom 6 depth. So, like I said, we still need that number 1 right wing or left wing. Cutter Gaucher is really going to help up there. As long as everyone stays healthy, I wouldn't be surprised even if the Ducks do have Zegras, McTavish, and Carlson as 3 centers. Like maybe do like a Killorn, Terry, Carlson line, and then like a Zegras, Gauthier, new, like, a new right winger, right, or left wing, right, for that one. And then for the third line, have Strome, McTavish, Vetrano, and then just build a whole new fourth line, or have Gauthier with Carlson, because I mean they looked really great together in against Vegas, and then have Terry and Zegras together because I know they play really well together. So I feel like it's more just we just need that top six offensive help than anything. So, and we don't really need to focus on the defense side
So
as
you'd
much.
put the guy who scored 37 goals on the third line.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to ask that. As far as the Kings go, I think they need to focus on scoring. It would be nice to get a guy who could score 50 goals. I mean, I believe Kempy's got that shot. But I was totally impressed with his overall play this year. I thought it was his best season ever. I mean, not only did he lead the team in assists and scoring overall with goals and assists, not the goals because Trevor Moore did that, but he was also doing all the dirty work, hitting guys in the corner. But we need scoring. I know Clark's going to come up, and I think he is going to be a big difference on the back end for scoring because we're definitely weak. Even though I think Drew had his best year since year 2, as far as scoring goals. We need more forwards. I'd love to get some scoring forwards up there. I mean, that could be Turcotte. That could be Akil Thomas. I thought Akil Thomas, in the short time he was up, was impressive. So, but they would need to focus on that. And you're absolutely right with the low salary cap. If you think about it, Ohtani makes $70 million, and our cap's going to be $87.7 million for a whole team.
Mm-hmm.
That only leaves him $17.7 million above Ohtani. Even though he's deferring his salary, but over a 10-year period, it's still $70 million a year. That's incredible.
That's crazy.
So, like I said, there's so many wild cards in the off season. I think this is gonna be for both the Kings and the Ducks. And you can say if you agree with me on this. This is gonna be one of those years that we're gonna get surprised. We're gonna probably go, oh yeah, why didn't I think of that? And we might be disappointed because they didn't do very much, kind of like the Angels did this year. I mean, they just didn't spend the money, and a lot of people are upset about it. So
I'm definitely upset about it.
Honestly, until they played Cincinnati this week, we were a 500 team. I was pretty okay with what we did being a 500 team. So I'm a big Angels fan too. So
we are.
Yeah, the whole family is. We all can agree on something.
Yeah. We don't always have we all don't have rival teams against each other. It's just for hockey. But
yeah, but we do it in a friendly way and we have fun with it.
We do.
I wear them. I mean, we usually go to the Ponda because it's closer to where we live, and I wear my Kings jersey, and they wear their Ducks jerseys, and we cheer for our teams. We all get along. We have dinner. We smile. We laugh. I mean, I'm not one of those people. I don't hate the Dodgers. If the Angels don't win it, I hope the Dodgers do. But I mean, they're becoming the New York Yankees now with buying everybody. Makes it a little hard to like them.
but they also draft really well.
They do. I mean, the Angels could learn something from them. So,
no kidding.
Anyways,
all right,
hope that answers your question. Did it the best of our abilities.
All right, guys. So this was our 9th episode that we've done. I know we've done technically 10 total, but one was a bonus and everything like that. But so next week will be our 10th episode. Yay!
Yay!
So in honor of our 10th episode, we're gonna do 2 separate giveaways. We're gonna do a Ducks giveaway and a Kings giveaway. So I'll post them on Instagram, and all I need you guys to do to enter to win is you have to like the post, you have to follow the Royally Quacked Instagram account, and you have to tag 3 people. That's all you gotta do. So tell all your Ducks and Kings fans, or if they want a prize, tell them to go and follow all those steps. I'll post it tomorrow and everything. So for the Kings prize, I got a Anze Kopitar puck right here. I know you guys can't see it because we're an audio podcast, but it has him on there with the Kings logo and his name and number on there, and it is a limited edition LA Kings puck. And then for the Ducks giveaway, I got the Mason McTavish bobblehead from the Legacy Night number 3. So, like I said, you have to like the post, follow us at Royally Quacked, and then tag 3 people. And then you're entered to win, and we'll announce the winner next week.
Tell your friends. Please tell them to come and join in. Listen to us every week. Give us questions.
Yeah, give us questions.
We love the questions. Thanks, James, for the King's question. I know I picked on you a little bit last week, but that wasn't meant that we don't love to hear from you. We really do. I mean,
yes.
we love that people are listening to us and they care.
Yeah.
And we do too. We care also.
Yeah, and since the playoffs, will be less and less games and everything like that, we'll recap, playoffs and of course the Kings games, and then I think after that we're gonna start having fun with the podcast. Like, I mean, I'm already having fun, but we're gonna get into fun topics. So
yeah, hey, send us some ideas of what you'd like to hear during the off season.
Yeah,
and we're gonna try to have news for each team still.
Yes.
They make a trade, they pick up a free agent,
We'll definitely keep the news and everything going, but
we want to have some fun stuff. I mean, one of my ideas is what if, sort of like, the Marvel, what if? Give us a what if question. One for the Ducks, one for the Kings. We'll use one of them. We're going to do, when I mentioned to Cody about the what if, he really liked the idea. And I know he's got way more ideas than I do. And I'm not sure he'll want to share them all on this podcast, but we'd like to hear your ideas.
Yes. If there's an idea of a podcast you guys would like us to do, please send it our way. I have plenty of ideas, but sometimes other minds got better ideas sometimes, and I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Your mom was telling me that at her Bible study, Pastor James' wife brought up our podcast. I don't know exactly what all was said, but it was mentioned at a women's Bible study. I go, hey, we reached out to someone.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, that is all for episode 9 of Royally Quacked. Thank you for listening and supporting us. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review and a rating. If you guys leave us a review and it's a good one, I'll read it on the podcast. How about that? So like I said, we're on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. You can go follow us and leave a review on those. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Royally Quacked to get the latest updates and interact with us.
We'd love to hear your feedback. Pound us with great questions and suggestions, and let us know if you're Team Royal or your Team Quack. Until next time, this is Cody and Gary signing off.
Go Ducks.
Go Kings, go. Beat the Oilers.